Sometimes life puts us in situations where we feel like our questions go unanswered, as if the heavens remain silent in the face of our pleas. We look for signs, a confirmation that our prayers have been heard, but sometimes all we find is more waiting. That feeling of uncertainty can become a weight that presses down on the soul, a constant whisper that makes us wonder if our turn will ever come. You've prayed with faith, lifted your voice in the solitude of your room, shedding tears that only God and you know. You've kept hope alive despite the absence of immediate answers. Yet, deep in your heart, doubt has begun to grow. When will it be my turn? Why do others seem to receive what I long for while I keep waiting? It's a valid question, one that many souls have voiced in their moments of greatest vulnerability. The wait can seem endless, especially when you see those around you advancing, prospering, receiving what you too have cried out for. You feel like the struggle never ends, that every step forward is accompanied by invisible obstacles that slow your progress. Impatience starts to wear down your spirit, and in the midst of that process, your faith is put to the test. But what if I told you that you're closer than you think? Sometimes, when nothing seems to be happening on the surface, it's because behind the scenes, God is orchestrating something far greater than you can imagine. No prayer is ignored, no tear is shed in vain. Everything has a purpose, even the waiting. What today seems like divine silence is actually the preparation for a blessing that will arrive at the perfect time. God is never late. His timing isn't measured by human impatience or the world's clock. His plan is perfect. And even though today you may not see the answer, that doesn't mean it isn't on its way. Perhaps the answer you seek is already closer than you think, ready to manifest at the exact moment your heart is prepared to receive it. Don't be discouraged. What God has for you has not been lost, delayed, or given to someone else. What is destined for you cannot be taken away. Keep the faith, keep moving forward, and get ready, because the fulfillment of the promise you've been waiting for is about to knock on your door. As you watch others receive what you've longed for, it's inevitable that frustration tries to take hold of you. You see doors opening for others, opportunities coming into their lives, and their prayers being answered quickly while you keep waiting. In that process, time becomes a burden, a shadow that constantly reminds you your blessing hasn't arrived yet. The struggle seems endless, and patience becomes an increasingly difficult challenge. Days pass, weeks add up, and sometimes even years go by without seeing the fulfillment of what you've asked for. You begin to question, has God forgotten me? Is my effort not enough? Why do others move forward while I stay stuck? These questions echo in your mind like a constant refrain, feeding doubt, weakening your faith, and making you believe you may never receive what you've been waiting for. But listen carefully. Waiting is never in vain. Even if you don't understand it now, even if it seems like nothing is happening, God is working in the invisible. What He has promised for your life hasn't been canceled. It's simply being prepared. Because God doesn't give half blessings. He doesn't give gifts without purpose. He works out every detail, ensuring that when the moment comes, you are ready to receive it. The struggle you're facing today is not meant to destroy you, but to strengthen you. God hasn't ignored your prayers or overlooked your tears. He has seen every effort, every battle you fought, every sacrifice you made. And let me tell you something, nothing you've lived has been in vain. Every challenge has been part of the plan. Every obstacle has been a lesson. Every delay has been an opportunity to grow and mature. If God has made you wait, it's because He's preparing something beyond what you can imagine. And when the time is right, when every piece is in place, what He has reserved for you will arrive with unstoppable force. What today feels like an endless struggle will tomorrow be the testimony of your victory. Don't give up. Stand firm, because the process is not the end. It's the path toward the manifestation of the promise. God is preparing something great for you, and when it arrives, you'll understand that every second of waiting was worth it. You may feel at this moment that your prayers have been ignored, that your voice has not been heard, or that God's silence means abandonment. But let me tell you something with absolute certainty. God has not forgotten your prayer. Every word you've spoken, every tear that has fallen from your eyes, every hope-filled thought has been seen and recorded by Him. Nothing has gone unnoticed. The problem is not that God doesn't hear you. It's that we often expect an immediate answer without realizing that every second of waiting is part of a perfect plan. We become anxious when we don't see results in the time we consider appropriate, when the blessing doesn't come at the moment we hope for. But God doesn't operate according to the human clock. He moves in divine time, in a time that is perfect and precise. What you see as a delay is actually careful preparation. Every obstacle you've faced, every challenge that's tested you, every moment of uncertainty has been part of a process designed to shape you, strengthen your character, and ensure that when the time comes, you'll be able to receive the blessing with wisdom and gratitude. Think of it this way. When an architect designs a building, they can't put on the roof before building a solid foundation. First, they must lay the groundwork, reinforce the structure, and make sure everything is in place before adding the finishing touches. If a building isn't well founded, the first strong wind would make it collapse. The same is true with God's blessings. He won't give you something you're not ready for, because instead of helping you, it could harm you. God is aligning everything in place. He's closing doors that no longer serve you. He's removing people who shouldn't be in your life. He's guiding you toward a greater purpose, and even if you don't see it clearly today, when the time comes, you'll understand why you had to wait. Nothing in this process has been a mistake. Nothing you've lived has been wasted. Every experience, every apparent delay, every tear shed has been used to shape you into the person you need to be to receive what God has prepared, because His plan is greater than you imagine. His purpose is bigger than you can comprehend. So trust. Even if the path seems uncertain, even if God's silence makes you doubt, remember that delay is not denial. It's preparation. Your blessing is closer than you think, and when it arrives, it will be even greater than you dreamed. Faith is not simply believing when everything goes well, when doors open effortlessly, or when answers come immediately. True faith is demonstrated in uncertainty, in waiting, in those moments when it seems like nothing is happening. That's when we most need to strengthen our trust in God, because it's in those moments when He is working invisibly, preparing something greater than we can imagine. God doesn't ask you to understand every detail of His plan, but He does ask you to trust that His will is perfect. Faith is the key that activates the manifestation of His promises. It's the engine that moves the invisible into the tangible. But faith isn't just a thought or a feeling inside you. Faith must be expressed, declared. Today, I invite you to take a step beyond simply hearing this message. I want you to declare with faith that you are aligned with what God is about to do in your life. Declare with your voice, with your actions, and with your thoughts that you believe in His purpose, that you are ready to receive what He has prepared for you. Write in the comments the number 99. It may seem like just a number, but in reality, it is a symbol of faith, a sign that you are prepared for what's coming. When you write it, don't do it as a simple gesture, but as a declaration that God is working, that His promise is on the way, and that you are ready to receive it. Faith is not passive. It's an act of absolute trust. When you take a step in faith, God responds. When you declare that you believe, when you affirm with conviction that His will shall be done, you are activating in the spiritual what will soon be manifested in the physical. Think of all the times in the Bible when God asked for an act of faith before manifesting a miracle. Jesus told Peter to walk on water before holding him up. He told the blind to believe they could see before restoring their sight. Faith has always required action, and today your action is to declare, to activate, to align yourself with what God is doing. Don't let doubt silence you. Don't let fear stop you from declaring what God has spoken over your life. Write the number 99 as a symbol of alignment, as an act of faith that says, I'm ready, I believe, I trust that what God has for me is closer than I imagine. Because when faith is activated, the miracle begins to take shape. When a great blessing is about to manifest in your life, God begins to send you signs. They are not mere coincidences or meaningless moments. They are divine messages indicating that something big is being formed in the invisible and is about to become reality in the visible. If lately you felt changes within you, faced more trials than usual, or if what once fulfilled you no longer does, it's not by chance. It's a sign that your blessing is near. God never leaves you in the dark without first giving you signs of His next move. But how do you know when you're on the verge of a divine transformation? There are several signs that the promise you've been waiting for is about to be fulfilled. Clear signs or situations that seem perfectly aligned. If you recently received messages confirming what you've been waiting for, pay attention to them. God uses these moments to remind you that His promise is on the way. Don't ignore these signs. God is moving pieces in your favor and preparing the stage for what's to come. Discomfort, trials, and unexpected changes are indications that what you've been waiting for is about to manifest. Stand firm, because the blessing God has for you is already on its way. The most intense tests, the moments of greatest uncertainty, and the toughest challenges are not signs of defeat, but of being closer than ever to receiving what you've been waiting for. It is in those moments when everything seems against you, when the struggle becomes unbearable and the temptation to give up grows stronger, that you must remember something crucial. The fiercest battle occurs right before the victory. When you're about to receive a great blessing, the pressure increases. Difficulties don't mean God has abandoned you. They mean you're on the threshold of a divine breakthrough, and it's there where many people fail. Instead of seeing resistance as a sign of nearness to the miracle, they interpret it as a sign to give up. Don't make that mistake. The fire purifies before the reward. Imagine a goldsmith refining gold in the fire. For the gold to reach its maximum purity, it must go through high temperatures that burn away all impurities. If the gold could feel, it would think the heat is unbearable, that it can't take it anymore. But it is precisely that heat that transforms it into something more valuable. In the same way, the trial you're facing now isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to prepare you, strengthen you, and refine you before you receive your blessing. God will never allow you to go through a struggle without a purpose. If today you're facing greater challenges than ever before, it's because your victory is closer than you think. The resistance you experience is no coincidence. It's confirmation that you're about to cross the finish line. Darkness is deepest just before dawn. If you've ever woken up before sunrise, you've noticed the minutes before the sun appears are the darkest. But that doesn't mean the sun won't rise. It simply means the day is about to begin. That's how it is spiritually. When the battle intensifies, when you feel like you can't take anymore, it's because the miracle is about to manifest. The enemy knows your blessing is near. And since he can't stop God's plan for your life, he'll try the only thing he can: discourage you, plant fear, doubt, and weariness in your heart so that you are the one who gives up. But if you stay firm, if you keep trusting and walking in faith, you'll see doors open, chains break, and what you've been waiting for finally come to pass. Don't stop now. If you feel like the battle has been harder than ever, it's not a sign of defeat. It's a sign that you're about to receive what God has promised. Don't let fatigue, fear, or doubt stop you in this crucial moment. Hold on a little longer, trust a little more, stand firm a little more, because victory is closer than you imagine. Faith is not just believing that something will happen, it's acting as if it's already happening. Many people spend years waiting for God to work in their lives, but they remain passive, doing nothing to prepare for the blessing they desire. But waiting on God is not a passive wait. It's an active wait. When God promises something, it's not so you'll simply sit and wait without moving. He wants you to act in faith, to prepare yourself, to behave as if the blessing is already on its way. That is the key, to act in faith before the miracle is visible. Faith requires action. Imagine God has promised to open doors for you in a new career, but you never train, never learn anything new, never move in the direction of that promise. How will you receive what you ask for if you're not prepared? Faith isn't just waiting. It's making room in your life for the blessing to come. We see this clearly in the Bible. Abraham didn't wait to see his descendants before believing God's promise. He left his homeland not knowing where he was going, but he walked in faith. Moses lifted his staff over the Red Sea before seeing the waters part. All those who received great miracles first acted in faith, without visible evidence. God is waiting for you to move. Sometimes we think we're waiting for God, but it's God who is waiting for us to take a step. Faith is like lighting a torch. If you don't stir the flame, it goes out. If today you feel like your blessing is delayed, ask yourself, am I acting in faith? Am I preparing to receive what God has promised me? If you're praying for a new job, start preparing as if the opportunity is already near. If you're waiting for restoration in your life, act as if you're already in that healing process. If you're waiting for a miracle, start living like someone who has already received it, because when you align yourself with the blessing finds you. Activate your blessing with faith. God does not bless inactivity. He blesses action and faith. The difference between someone who receives their miracle and someone who keeps waiting isn't always the promise. It's the preparation. Are you ready to receive what you've been waiting for? If not, this is the time to start acting in faith. It's not just about waiting with hope. It's about walking in faith as if you were already in the time of fulfillment. Because the key is not just to wait, but to move in the direction of what God has already declared for your life. The wait has come to an end. What God has promised for your life is about to manifest. Every trial you faced, every moment of uncertainty, every silent tear has been part of a divine process designed to bring you to this moment. God has never been inactive. He has never forgotten what He promised you. And now, what seemed delayed, what seemed impossible, is closer than you imagine. If this message has resonated in your heart, it's because God is speaking directly to you. He wants to remind you that His timing is perfect, that there have been no delays in His plan, and that everything you've lived through has been necessary to prepare you for what's coming. It hasn't been in vain. It hasn't been a wait without purpose. The door is about to open. The answer is on its way, and your life is about to change. But there is something you must do. Take a step in faith. Don't stay just a spectator, waiting for the miracle to arrive. Activate your faith. Prepare for what's coming. Live as someone who has already received their blessing. Because God doesn't just want to give you what you've asked for. He wants to transform your life in a way that also impacts others. If this message has touched your life, declare it in the comments. Write in faith, "I am ready to receive what God has for me." It's not just a comment. It's an act of faith, a declaration that you are aligned with God's will and prepared to receive His blessing. Don't keep this message to yourself. If you know someone going through a hard time, someone struggling with uncertainty, someone who feels their wait has been too long, share this message with them. It might be exactly the word they need to hear today. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This is just the beginning. God has much more to reveal to you, and we want to walk with you in this journey of growth, faith, and transformation. Remember this: God has heard your prayer, He has seen your faith, He has felt your heart, and prepared something great for you. Don't doubt, don't stop. Don't let the enemy steal the hope that God has placed in you. Your blessing is closer than you think. Get ready, because the best is yet to come. God bless you, and see you in the next video.